From our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Good evening, everyone. Pass this law or there's no AFL team. That's the ultimatum Jeremy Rockcliffe has given colleagues in the upper house. The criticism keeps coming, with a prominent anti-stadium group calling into question the accuracy of the project's 3D renders.
As pressure mounts on the Premier to meet tight timeframes to secure the Tassie Devils AFL team, Jeremy Rockcliffe has today staked it all on enabling laws to get Macquarie Point Stadium underway.
If the legislation is not passed, the stadium won't go ahead and the team will not go ahead.
Sending a stern message to upper house independents, currently needing support from 2 of them to pass the legislation.
Mafia bosses would be proud of this kind of stand-over tactics, blackmailing legislative councillors. Some
northern lower house MPs, where Mac Point is unpopular, are becoming more sceptical about the project.
It's completely unfair. It's just the Premier's way or the highway.
We do want a team. It's probably worth a stadium, but is it worth a $1.2 billion stadium?
Labor insists Jeremy Rockcliffe will be to blame if Tasmania's Aussie rules dream falls over, despite maintaining unconditional support for the stadium through Parliament.
If the Premier decides to backflip and not build the stadium, that's on him.
Ahead of tomorrow's cut-off for public submissions to the State's Planning Commission, community group Our Place has voiced fresh concerns with renders released by the Macquarie Point Development Corporation.
Their images are just simply misleading. They underplay the impact of the stadium deliberately.
Judgment Day for the Tassie Devils' future will be in July, which is when the Premier aims to have the special legislation passed. Anthony Dodd, 7 Tasmania News.
Tasmanians have stood in solidarity with thousands across Australia tonight ahead of a month-long campaign honouring victims of family and domestic violence. Candlelight vigils are just finishing up in Launceston, Ulverston and Hobart, where we find our reporter Ruby Cairns. Ruby, what's the turnout been like?
Kim, it was incredibly moving to be here and hear the stories of so many people affected by domestic violence. We heard from prominent advocate Romany Wake, daughter of Rachel Wake, who died at the hands of her former partner on Christmas Day 2021. Those in attendance tonight calling for more to be done to abolish family violence and support victim survivors. One speaker shared a sobering statistic that on average 1 woman was killed per week, a result of domestic violence last year. A big part of tonight was also acknowledging and standing with all those who are still experiencing violence. The message to them tonight from this crowd was that there is help available and they're not alone. Kim.
A great message. Thank you very much there. Tasmania has gone full throttle with supercars hosting, with a street party this afternoon on Hobart's waterfront. Despite the rain, fans got a chance to meet drivers, check out the cars and gear up for race weekend at Symmons Plains.
Drivers, start your engines, because supercar madness has officially hit Tasmania.
Travelled down from Queensland for this, so my first time for the supercars in Tasmania.
I grew up watching supercars with Dad. So, yeah, I've been a fan my whole life pretty much, yeah.
Before the rubber meets the road this weekend at Symmons Plains, the drivers made a pit stop to meet their biggest supporters. And despite the weather, the crowd and some potential future drivers remained fueled by excitement, getting signatures from their favourites behind the wheel.
It's just an amazing experience getting to see all of them, and maybe I'll be there one day.
It's great to see everyone out. It's pretty cold down here in Hobart, so it's good to see so many people come out.
For motorsport fans in northern Tasmania, don't worry, you won't miss out. There's another special driver signing session being held tomorrow evening in Invermay.
For the drivers, they're adamant a little rain won't steer them off track come this weekend.
The rain always makes it a little bit more exciting. It sort of shortens up the field a bit more. So, see what happens, really.
Others remain optimistic.
We always have to factor in the weather, but it won't rain. We'll be right.
From signatures to start lines, one thing's for sure. It's game on in Tasmania.
If it's wet like it is today, then it should be an exciting race.
Lily Thompson, 7 Tasmanian News.
Widespread bullying and harassment in Tasmania's fire and emergency services have been described as deeply regretful by the Premier. An independent cultural review led by former Australian Sex Discrimination Commissioner Elizabeth Broderick found harmful workplace behaviour was rampant across both agencies.
We need to ensure that we're supporting our agencies to improve their culture. It is essential.
It comes as Fire Service Commissioner Jeremy Smith issued a public apology to hundreds of employees and volunteers over the findings in the report, which surveyed more than 1,000 workers. There is sweet relief on the way for more Tasmanians, with the RACT entering into a deal to bring down the cost of fuel. 24 stations have been earmarked for the discount and more are on the way.
A mortgage, groceries and fuel. 3 expenses continuing to plague the hip pockets of Tasmanians.
Every piece of research that we do, we see cost of living as a significant issue for our members.
A new partnership between RACT and 2 Tasmanian-grown petrol companies, dropping the price of fuel slightly for members.
6 cents off a litre at the Bowser. Incredibly important for our members to put that little bit more back in their hip pocket.
There are 24 sites offering the discount along major transit routes, 10 in the south and 14 across the north, with plans to introduce more in the foreseeable future.
We've seen, I guess, some really good opportunities over the Christmas New Year period. The tourist sort of season through the northwest has been fantastic. We're able to provide a really good sort of offering.
The idea behind the discount coming about in true Tassie style.
I ran into Tim down the street and he said, "You're from Bennis, aren't you?" He said, "Love to do a deal." And I said, "Love to do one with you too."
RACT members can reap the rewards from today. Ruby Cairns, 7 Tasmania News.
Well, Kaya Wicks will bring us the weather details later, and we've sent her out on the road for a special look at a well-known Tasmanian facility. Let's check in with her now though. Kaya, tell us, where are you?
That's right, Kim. I'm here at Ashgrove Cheese in the north of the state as a part of a new initiative supported by IGA stores right across Tasmania. Now, they're celebrating our locally owned supermarkets and our Tassie homegrown produce. Local producers like Ashgrove represent everything that we love about being Tasmanian. Now, ensuring that we can source the best of what we need locally. Now, here is a familiar face, Andrew Hart. You're the ambassador of the IGA Tasmania Homegrown campaign.
Yes, I am, and I take my role very, very seriously. And look, today's been a big day. I was up before the cows, 7 a.m. we were here standing in the paddock, the freezing cold, watching the cows eat the grass, which is then turned into milk, and that milk goes into your IGA stores right around the state within a day or two. I mean, it can't get more homegrown than that.
Now, you continue to be busy. You'll be travelling across the state. What kind of message and produce will you be talking to our Tasmanian viewers about?
All the good produce that Tasmania grows wonderfully well. You know, world's best produce. We've got eggs, we've got pork, we've got pies and bread. And the fact is, if you want to support the local producers, the people that make the produce, then get into your local IGA, because homegrown is better.
And here is indeed the end product. Now, the boss of Ashgrove Cheese, Richard, is here. Now, tell us, why is it so important to support homegrown products just like these?
Well, first of all, Tassie produces some of the best homegrown products you'll find anywhere. And by supporting local homegrown products, all the dollars you spend gets reinvested into the local Tassie community.
Well, Kim, I can't take his word for it, but I'm just going to head off and taste some of these lovely cheeses, and I'll be back with all of the weather details a little later.
Tasmanians are being urged to help support new mums by donating to the Humpty Dumpty Foundation's Pumped for Life Mother's Day appeal. All funds will go towards providing urgently needed hospital-grade breast pumps to the state's major hospitals.
Breast milk, a baby's lifeline.
Liquid gold, that's how we describe it, because it has all those antibodies and nutrients that babies need to grow and thrive.
But there's concerns a lack of access to hospital-grade pumps in the state and nationwide is putting newborns at risk, especially premature or critically ill babies.
Really, really important to have a pump available so that mums can still express and provide that milk for their baby.
The pumps also provide vital connection between mother and baby.
Potentially they might not be able to hold their baby for a little while. They might be able to just touch their baby, but being able to provide the breast milk, it gives them a bit of control back.
Tasmania has the highest preterm birth rate in the country, accounting for more than 11% of deliveries, with many of those newborn babies admitted into intensive neonatal care units, with access to hospital-grade machines like this vital for new mums, especially when physical contact isn't an option. The Humpty Dumpty Foundation's Pump for Life appeal calling for help ahead of Mother's Day, with donations helping to fund the vital equipment.
This year we've had a request for over 100 breast pumps, again going to 30 different hospitals and health services.
Both Launceston General and Royal Hobart Hospital are hoping to stock their supplies, needing at least 4 additional pumps each. But they come at a price, with some worth $3,500.
These are hot property in hospitals. Everybody, there is a waiting list, and there is a demand for them that is extremely high.
To donate, you can go to the Foundation's Mother's Day appeal. Rebecca Gadaneris, 7 Tasmania News.
A much-loved social enterprise in Hobart is receiving a $1 million funding boost, giving it financial certainty for the next 4 years. Hamlet Cafe provides hospitality training for people living with a disability, equipping them with skills to gain employment in the industry.
Now I'm on the barista machine or the coffee machine for 2 years, and that's what I'd love to do. That's my passion.
We might be able to expand the delivery of our training program and really look at how we can increase our employment outcomes for participants.
It's the first of the government's pre-budget announcements. The budget will be handed down later this month. Turf has been laid and hazards are in place as Tasmania's newest golfing precinct prepares to tee off. And Launceston's Country Club is putting out the call for applicants interested in kick-starting exciting careers in hospitality.
Wanted 40 employees to find a new home on the range.
This is really a fantastic entertainment facility, so we're after people that will provide fun and enjoyment to our customers and deliver drinks and make pizzas and be golf attendants.
The call comes with Country Club's new golfing entertainment precinct known as The Range, set to open in July.
We're looking for everybody from our range caddies, which are our food and beverage attendants, right through to supervisors and general staff.
Both the driving range and meticulously crafted mini golf course are expected to be major attractions.
We hope that there'll be between 4 and 6 people every 4 or 5 minutes teeing off on the mini golf course. So 18 holes times 4 to 5. There's lots of capacity for lots of people to have a great time.
With hospitality and tourism such a large part of the state's economy, a job here could be the perfect opportunity to launch a career in hospitality.
We're after enthusiastic, fun, energetic people to really deliver a fantastic product here.
It's a really exciting new thing that everyone is kind of looking at, and yeah, it's definitely something with new skills as well to build on.
With the 18-hole Parklands course due for completion in August next year, all that's needed now is the 40 new staff to help tee things off. Matthew Watson, 7 Tasmania News.
There's more than just 4 points on the line for Clarence and Glenorchy. This weekend's SFL clash carries extra weight with the Styles Cooney Cup up for grabs. Both teams are fresh off a bye after the state game, ready and rested for what's tipped to be a hard-fought contest.
I was talking to Michael Styles this week and he said that they've got 240 heading to their lunch on Saturday, so that's a good number. So I'm sure we're expecting a pretty hot game.
We're aware of the occasion, and I think we're just more worried about going out and playing our best footy. We haven't done that in a few weeks.
In the SFLW, Clarence will come into their game against the Pies brimming with confidence after beating ladder leaders North Hobart last week. After a heartbreaking 1-point loss, there could be a much-needed boost for the Hobart Chargers as NBL one-star guard Will Cranston-Loud eyes off a return from injury. The team host their Nunawading Spectres in a Friday night showdown.
Will's, hit some markers throughout the week, and hopefully he gets through Thursday's training, and if that all goes well, he'll be on the floor on Friday.
Meanwhile, it's do or die for the women's team, currently 14th on the ladder. They're fighting to turn their season around.
Similar spot on the ladder, both sort of up and down results, and hopefully we can get the job done and we can sort of start heading in a positive direction with a couple of wins in a row.
Friday marks the final double header in Sorell this season before all remaining home games move to Newtown's Sports Centre. The Tawns are lamenting an unfortunate combination of illness, injury and higher duties for several members of their playing group, but the coach is impressed with how the young squad is stepping up.
We had Jade McCoy and Millie Baker starting on Sunday. You know, girls a couple of weeks ago were only getting about 5 minutes a game to, playing 30 minutes and playing against, Micah Simpson and Abby Werung, WNBL, stars.
They host Unawarding at Elphin on Saturday. And as drivers arrive in Hobart ahead of this weekend's Tasmania Super 440, Brock Feeney is hoping to repeat his fortunes from his 50th race start when he ticks over the century at Symmons Plains.
I didn't even know it was my 100th race until a few days ago. I saw a few stories about it, so yeah, it goes pretty quick. I obviously remember the first one pretty clearly, and I've had some good ones and some bad ones along the way.
The on-track action begins on Friday. And that is Tonight in Sport, Kim.
OK, thank you, Nick. Well, Kaya Wicks is out and about enjoying herself. She'll join us after the break with the weather forecast.
Welcome back. We're here at Ashgrove Cheese and we're here to celebrate the IGA Tasmania Homegrown campaign. Now, Andrew, this is what it's all about.
I am the cheesy ambassador, and we all know that homegrown is better, and the best way to support Tasmania's farmers and producers is to get into your local IGA and sample some of the best food in the world grown right here in Tassie.
I might sample this myself, but in the meantime, here's how the weather unfolded across the state today. Well, it was 15 in Hobart today and 16 for Launceston, Devonport and also Burnie. Further out, Flinders Island, Friendly Beaches and St Helens saw 17, 16 on King Island and also at Low Head, Smithton and Ouse 15, 14 in Grove, Strawn 13 and 7 in Lyowini. Patchy mid to high level cloud moved over the state today, whilst broader areas of low level cloud covered western and northern parts. A band of low level cloud is seen moving over coastal parts of SA, southwestern Victoria and Tasmania. Tomorrow the cold front will cross the state, followed by a cool and gusty southwesterly airstream as a ridge of high pressure moves over the Bight. West to southwesterly winds reaching up to 40 knots in the southwest, west to southwesterly swells increasing up to 6 metres. A gale warning has been issued for waters between Wineglass Bay to St Helens Point tomorrow. There is also a strong wind warning for the upper east coast and also for inshore waters and inland lakes. A warning also to sheep graziers for the upper Derwent Valley and southeast. A shower or two in Hobart tomorrow, 14 also in Cygnet with showers easing there, much the same in New Norfolk with 13 degrees. 15 and partly cloudy in Launceston, Devonport cloudy with 15 also, 13 and possible showers in Campbelltown. Possible showers also in Burnie, 14, winds easing in Strawn 14 as well in showers, with showers rather in Smithton. St Helens and Swansea partly cloudy, both 15, cloudy in Fingal, 13's the top. Forecast for Friday now, light showers about the West and Bass Strait Islands, but fine elsewhere. Light showers about the west and far south on Saturday. And on Mother's Day, light showers continue about the west and south. Further north tomorrow, a sunny day in Perth and Alice Springs. A few showers in Sydney with 21 expected there, 17 and cloudy in Melbourne. And conditions are just perfect here in Elizabethtown this evening, Kim. Now, I did promise to bring you back some cheese, but unfortunately, that's all that's left. Make sure you head to IGA to grab some of your own.
Oh, you're not even bringing any back. Thank you, Kaya. And that brings to an end our Wednesday night bulletin. As always, thanks for joining us. Good night, everyone.